Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mind Your Business Show. I am your host, Milt Walker, joined today by none other than Tony Calloway, the private money godfather. How are you today, sir?
Maestro, man, it is another beautiful day here in Columbus, Georgia. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in and being patient, but we're here at last, here at last. Thank God Almighty, we're here at last with the Mind Your Business Show. We really appreciate the fact that you make our show an important part of your Saturday and an important part of your life. We've got an amazing guest that I want to introduce with all the
Yes.
fanfare deserved. But before we get to her, I want to ask the maestro, my brother, how is life treating you?
Life is great. Life is good. Life is life. Life is love. And, I'm just grateful to be in it and
Sounds
be a
so
part of
poetic.
it. I'm grateful to be a part of it and be in it, man. I'm telling you,
Uh,
it's a beautiful thing. How about
well,
yourself?
that's wonderful. Like I said, this is another great day, a good week. I will tell everybody that I'm very proud to say that in the past 2 weeks, I've lost 6 pounds. So I am, yes.
All right.
As a matter of fact, when I get to Versandra, we're going to talk about a picture I saw. I said, "Oh no, got to do something about this physique." So I got to order some B cut beast from
Right,
Darnell
right,
and
right.
just be in the gym and eat right and everything. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
I'm heading toward my goal, and that's a fantastic thing. Well, folks, let me introduce our featured guest for today, Versandra Kennebrew. She has been on the show several times. She is renowned for a number of things. She is our chief marketing officer. So if you're watching us now, it's largely because of her driving our social media. She is the owner of Optimal Living Education and Retreats, which she is, I mean, she's going to talk about some of the things she's done and things she has coming up for that. She is also a distinguished Toastmaster, and she is also at ATA, which stands for All Things Awesome. We call her the Queen. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for the incredible Versandra Kennebrew. How you doing this morning, Queen V?
Oh my God, what an introduction, Tony. Thank you so much. And thank you, Milt, also for allowing me to be with you guys here on this beautiful Saturday morning.
Yes. Great to
Fantastic.
have you.
Well,
Great to have
it is rare that actually Milt, Versandra, and all three of us are in Columbus. Most of the time, our guests are somewhere else. So we're all sharing this beautiful day, and certainly your smile is adding to the magnificence of that. So, I was telling them jokingly, I said, one day I hope to look as good as both Milt and Versandra do. So. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But Versandra, as I mentioned, you wear many hats, but all those fit within your persona. Who you are is what you do, and that's a beautiful thing. And one of the things that you do is that you put together amazing events. And so we're going to spend today, folks, talking about how you can do a great job of hosting events to promote your business, family, whatever the purpose of it is. There are some keys, and Versandra is going to share with you the 5 top secrets of putting together a successful event. Now, in my former life in the military, I was a military intelligence officer, and I was telling them when we were speaking earlier, when I see the words top secret, it just resonates with me, in that military parlance. But then I said, no, these are 5 top, as in at the top, not the bottom secrets. And she says a play on words. I said, okay, cool. I did get it as a play on words, but hey, this is what you're going to learn today. So I want to encourage everybody to get your pen and paper out and take some notes, and certainly share this with your friends and family, because you're going to learn how to do it and do it right. So, Sandra, I want you, if you would, for those who have not met you before, to take 2 or 3 minutes and introduce yourself to our guest.
Yes, thank you so much again, Tony. Peace and love to our wonderful guests that are joining us all over the world and those who will be joining us on our YouTube channel. It is amazing that not only can you catch us live on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m., but you can also watch the archives
Yes,
at the
yes.
YouTube channel, and that is the private
Money Godfather
Money
channel.
Godfather, right.
Godfather.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to go there, subscribe right now. And once you do that, you will get all of the replays as they come through. You do not want to miss this show because the experts that appear here are amazing. And so I know that wasn't what you asked me, Tony, but I have to put it out there because I am a part of the team.
Thank you, my sister.
Yes, yes.
Nice.
So, a little bit about me. Let me just tell you, as far as it relates to events, I can tell you that I have been doing events ever since I was about 18 years old, beginning in retail, working in retail sales in clothing stores in the mall where you had to get the dollars in somehow, some way. And so sometimes we would do in-store events like fashion shows. We would get our customers to come in when the new fall line came in. We dress them all up and we do an in-store fashion show just to bring people's attention to our new line of fashion. But it also engaged our customers in the process of being a part of our family and not just a person that we took their money from them and put it in the cash register. So I'm going to start with that, but let me tell you, that did not end my learning of events because that is when I was really young and wet behind the ears. Later on, when I became an entrepreneur, I had the opportunity to work in various capacities creating events, whether those events were inside the facility or whether they were out in the community. I remember my very first event as a massage therapist where I set up a tent at the corner of a very busy drive, little whatever you want to call it. This is a
Intersection.
intersection. Thank you.
Yes.
Very busy intersection. I set up a tent there with a big sign that says free massages. And I would get out there and walk up and down. And as people would pull their cars over and get under the tent, mind you, this was in 1999 when
Wow.
only 1% of adults were getting professional massages.
Wow.
And so it was like pulling teeth trying to get people to try it for the first time. And today we can see that massage therapy is mainstream, and most people at some point have either gotten one. And if you're talking about people 21 and younger, you will find that younger people have gotten more massages than most older people because they're
Yeah.
learning about it in their schools. Their teachers are engaging in some type of body therapy. Is they might not call it therapy, but there's a program in schools that's all about hands-on therapy between kids so that they learn how to engage with healthy connection and development with other people because there are challenges with many people with their social skills and their ability to interact with others. So there's just so much out there right now that has changed since when I began this whole process. But then as we move forward, I have also had the opportunity to work with the healthiest grocery store in the world, they say. Whole
Hmm.
Market, that's their claim to fame, and was marketing and community engagement specialist for that organization. When they came to Detroit, Michigan, one of my tasks with that organization was to create an event calendar that had 3 to 5 days of events every single week. And so I had to get out there in the community and find individuals that are in the healing arts and then in entertainment to provide all kinds of activities and in-store tastings and those type of things. So it was really all about engaging the customers, allowing them to have an experience that they would not forget, and then also engaging those professionals who provided whatever it was that they were doing, whether they were a speaker, whether they were a chef, or whether they were a singer or a performer. That was a wonderful experience. But now, and I am aging gracefully. I have decided
Indeed.
I want to kind of tone things down a little bit and not do so many of those amazing events and bring it home to retreats. And so now that is my number one thing, is creating these retreat experiences that allow people to kind of get still, kind of set aside the cares of the world, and then come back to their basically ground zero where everything is smooth and mellowed out, and then they can get back into the world and engage again after they've rested.
Right.
And so that's kind of where I am right now.
Well, that is a great chronology, and needless to say, you have done a lot of events. so,
Could you tell?
so the base
Could you tell?
the base of your
Yes.
experience is evidently a solid foundation for what you want to share with our viewers. So before we get into the depth of the content, I want to ask the maestro if we have any acknowledgments we can make, any shout outs, and who's out there watching this morning.
Yeah, so we got Vic Calloway. He's joining us this morning. Says good morning, everyone. Kyle Avery is watching. Faye Cole is joining us. Says good morning, everyone. Horace Solomon says good morning as well. And so far, that's all that's in the chat. But we got people watching, and so we're gonna press on.
Yeah.
All right.
Press on.
Well, hey, I want to make a shout out to my homeboy, Horace Solomon in beautiful Roberta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Hey.
And my brother Victor, he's in the number 2. I'm the number 1 child. So glad to have you watching. He's up in Manassas, Virginia, Primerica. So if you need to get your insurance right, make sure to get in touch with Victor Calloway. Got to throw in a plug for my younger brother there. All right, Versandra. So let's start with before we get to the 5 top secrets. What are the different types of events that people are doing, and and then we'll see how all these might apply. But if you just kind of help people to get a broad perspective on when you say events, what you're speaking about.
Okay. Well, I would consider an event anything where you are inviting others to come and gather together for a specific purpose. So some events are very small, where they're private, where you only want 10 specific people to be there, and you invite them, and then there's a host, and then you present something, and then everybody leaves from that experience. But then there's also events that are geared toward sales. They're geared toward making money. They're not just geared toward bringing people together, but the end result is to make a profit. So those type of events happen in the stage of, one-on-one. They happen in the stage of live experiences. And then now we have our virtual experiences as well as hybrid experiences that include virtual and live events. But they all have the one thing in common, is that they have a purpose and intention, and then they are being measured by whatever the event host has put together, or the event producer has put together for their vision, whatever it is that they're looking to accomplish, or the way that they want to impact their audience is something that was set before the event happened. So that's really important to know, because so many people go in kind of haphazardly, and they don't really have a clear vision of what they want to come out on the back end of the event. And so sometimes they're very displeased with themselves because they did not get specific results. And mainly it's because they did not have a specific intention when they went in.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the 5 top secrets. And so I'll let you drive the conversation on those. And I do want to ask you, viewers, please post your questions in the chat if you have any questions, because especially if you're in any type of business, or even from a social setting, your church or other organizations. As I mentioned, Versandra's a district Toastmaster as a division. I'm sorry if I misidentified your title, division director. But there, in fact, she was on the event before she came here today. So we all are either participants in or planning these. So I think it's very important that we capture what we need to understand for what Versandra is able to share. So Versandra, go ahead and talk to us about the top secrets.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tony. And this is, by the way, an event for those who are watching. You received an invitation in some kind of way, whether it is from our Facebook page or maybe an inbox message in your messenger that said, hey, you've been invited to this event on Saturday at 11 o'clock. It had a topic, it had a description, and then it had what you're expected to get out of your presence at the event. And then one of the objectives of this particular event is to educate and empower and uplift you as a business owner, help you mind your business. That is one of the major objectives. But the other objective that you may not know about is to create content from experts that support business owners and that give them great information and put it in our archives where you can go back at later times and be fed with this multitude of great information that will definitely nourish you as you grow and develop your business. And then finally, this event is also meant to assist you with finding individuals who can help you specifically, and you are expected to reach out to those individuals and get what you need from them because they came and gave you a little snapshot of how they could support you in your efforts to mind your business. So that's kind of a short example, but I want to just go ahead and give you those 5 top secrets and just a bullet point, because what I recognize is we all learn differently. And I want you to know in the beginning to hold your attention. I'm going to talk about the fact that you need to visualize your event. You need to be able to strategize your event. You should be able to budget for your event. You should be able to collaborate to promote and take your event to the next level. And then finally, you should be able to be newsworthy. Once your event is done, it should be something that the news wants to know about and share with the public. Those are really the 5 quick tips. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in to visualize.
All right.
Let's start with the fact that I got to put this out here, a little plug. I created this journal called the Ignite Your Imagination Journal. And this is a manifestation journal that's designed to help you write and visualize your reality. So when you are creating events, you are going to write and visualize your event. What do you want to occur before, during, and after? You have to see it within your mind's eye, which means you have to use your imagination. An event is something that you are really creating. You are creating from your imagination something that is going to give you a specific outcome. So, this process is the same process you use when you are bringing to fruition anything that you desire in your life. Now, when you're thinking about the visualization, you cannot be stuck on what you've done before only. Now that's some proof that you could do it again if you've done it before. But you want to be able to imagine beyond what you've done before, because if you're looking to go to the next level or increase your exposure, then that's something you have not done before. So there are some things that I'm going to share with you that you will need to do in order to do something you've never done before. And partly one of those things is not do the same thing you did in the past.
Right.
And there's a little saying, I'm sure you've heard of it before, is if you're looking to do something you've never, anyway, I don't even want to get it because I can't remember. Anybody remember that quote? I think y'all heard it before.
Yeah. I
I know
do
what you're
remember
referring
it.
to. I
If
can't
you
think
want
of
to
it.
get something done or you want to do something different, you
You
can't
can't
do
keep
what you've
doing
done before,
right.
something like that.
Old keys
But
don't
it's
open
true.
new doors, right? Old keys don't open new doors, right?
Hey, there's another one.
And the wisdom
I tell
wisdom
you.
is the same, right? It's the same wisdom.
Hey,
So yeah. Hmm.
yes, let's go ahead with it. It's wisdom. And so that visualization is so important. Then you have to strategize. Now, I have to say, you mentioned Toastmasters earlier, and I always mention it. I just can't help it because for the last 5 years, I've been engaged in this process that helps me to grow and do better in my business on a regular basis. And because of the leadership skills and tools it shares, it teaches me how to better strategize. One of the tools, you might be able to see this,
It blurs it.
maybe
Maybe
not,
it's too close. Yeah.
but this is called an idea map worksheet. And it's one of the tools that I use, and it helps you to just write down what is your vision, put it plain and simple. Then it helps you to move into goals and then the tasks that will help you to reach those goals. And this map goes on and it helps you to break down each and every. You're going to go from the macro, the larger vision, and then it's going to bring you down to the smaller.
Mm,
And what are the
nice.
individual tasks will you have to do in order to reach each and every goal? Most people have heard of the term SMART goals. Well,
Yeah.
that's really what we're doing. We're making sure that it's something that we can measure, something that is time bound, something that is specific, and all those other letters that are accounted for there. You have to do that when you are preparing your event because you cannot expect to have a specific outcome if you never said it in the beginning. You did not set an intention. I think Tony's over here like I got a question already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as it relates to the connection between the visualizing and then the strategizing, it occurred to me because I'm always checking my processes whenever I'm talking to somebody who does a much better job than I do. Uh, how important is it, as you said, the before, the beginning, and after? Because as I was thinking, I said a lot of times I've got a mental picture of like a snapshot of the end because I'm always so, and I never really think about the beginning. I can see
Mm-hmm.
the middle and I think about the end. Uh, I mean, and I guess everybody's different in that particular way. Do you suggest that people like maybe, what, even if it's bullet points, kind of write out a storyline for the event and then go back inside of it and break it down as you just described with the
Absolutely.
strategy.
Yes, yes. In fact, I've worked with amazing event planners in the past that actually call theirs a playbook. And
Okay.
it's a play-by-play strategy and it's in like a booklet. And when they prepare for their event, when they bring on partners to support it, everybody has that same exact playbook and it starts from beginning, middle to end. And so, yes, it's important to do that. And I know exactly what you're talking about, Tony, because every expert that I've ever worked with tells us you got to go and visualize the end result and then move your way back forward. You work your way back to where you are. But what the reason why I really wanted to put that the before, because that really lays the foundation. That lays the foundation for the outcome to occur. Because before it's all about, okay, say for instance, in one particular event that I'm working on right now, the before part is the part where I bring together my team. So that's before you ever get to a middle or end. You got to
Mhm.
be able, who are you going to work with? Who is going to help you if you need money, as I'm going to talk about in a moment? If you need to create a budget, who's going to help you to put those line items in there and making sure that you have all of the things necessary. So building a team is one of the things that happens before. Then also determining who you might know your target market, but who can help you tap into your target market. That's a before thing. Because for me, I'm working with veterans in this upcoming event. And I'm like, okay, well, who are all of the Columbus and Atlanta, Georgia area veterans organizations? Because they already have people that they're working with that are veterans. So I don't have to go out and find them individually. I need to know who do I need to partner with to
Right.
reach my goals. So that's kind of a part of the before.
Okay. Yeah.
Another
And
before, I got to say this too.
yeah.
Another before for me is I began a prosperity process. It's a spiritual thing that I do, and it's kind of a yogic prosperity thing. And I started that before, and it's ongoing throughout the process, because what it does is brings my focus back to my intention every single morning before I go and do anything. It stops me in my tracks and it says, here, come to this place, this median, this happy median, be energized, be filled, be invigorated, all of the things you need so that you can do step 2 and step 3. So that's a part of my before.
Well, that is awesome. And before we go to the step 3, I was going to ask the maestro, do we have any questions or any other shout outs that we need to acknowledge any of our viewers?
We do. So we had 1 second. So we had Martha J. McAfee come in and say, any suggestions for hosting a successful and safe event during these times? And I think you kind of started getting into that. You started outlining some of the things to do to host a successful event, but she's asking specifically during these times for it to be safe as well.
Yes.
So any suggestions on that?
All right, Maestro, that's a good question. And thank you for asking that to our viewer. And yes, we definitely want to use whatever our state's rules are related to the COVID pandemic. You want to use the rules and fit them into your particular event. Right now, they're saying 6 feet distance between each person. And if you happen to be in a room together, to make sure you wear a mask. So if that's what the rules and requirements are, then that's what you need to follow for the safety of your guests and for the safety of yourself. But then there's also what we talked about at the top of the hour. We were talking about hybrid events. And that is where you limit the number of people that's in your immediate area to the people who are really participating and people who are, your core team. And then you project your event out virtually so that other people can engage. And what's so really good about that is that you get to reach more people because they are not bound by your immediate
geographical
location.
location, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this technology is amazing that it allows you to stream out to the world from wherever you are. All you have to do is have the mindset to be able to embrace that idea. But if you're kind of closed in your mindset, then you're only thinking local, which is micro, and you're only going to get micro or local outcomes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we do have so just to give them more shout outs, and so Edward Winning came in and said good morning everyone. The brother Edward came in. Darnell Collins is joining us, says good morning my beautiful people. Good morning brother. Martha J. McAfee says again, insanity, doing the same thing over and over but expecting a different outcome.
There you go.
That's it.
Eric Simpson,
and Martha's from Roberta.
Shout out Roberta. Okay.
Yes.
Eric Simpson says good stuff this morning. So he's joining us again. Brother Eric Simpson. Darnell Collins is joining us. He says, to what my sister spoke on, the sky isn't my limit. It's only my view. To ultimately visualize what I'm predestined to become, it's all inevitable. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ebony is joining us again this morning. Says good morning to all, and good morning, Ebony.
Good morning, Ebony.
Yes. So that's it for right now. We all caught up now. So let's keep rolling. This is some good information.
Yeah,
I'm soaking all this in. So
we're getting ready to get to the third point. Now, here's something I tell people a lot. Don't constrain your vision to what your wallet is. Let your wallet find a way to match your vision. So the third bullet of the top secrets of the 5 top secrets is budget. So talk about that balance of how people need to address that. You have to have resources, but not necessarily have them all yourself, I think.
Yes, that's it. Thank you, Tony. You are definitely on track with this one. Budget is important, but cash is not the only currency, and it all doesn't have to be yours. And so that's what we talk about in this particular area. It's, when you're talking about strategizing, a part of the strategy is how is it going to be paid for? So you should, get yourself a spreadsheet. I do the easy thing. I like using Word and Excel have these different templates. I think Excel has a template that's called event budget. It's really simple. All you got to do is go in, plug in the name of your event, and it has all of the basic line items any event would normally have. And you just customize that to fit your specific event. And once you plug in your numbers, then it's going to output your your expenses, your profits, and then it's going to give you a sheet, your profit loss sheet, that's going to tell you whether you made a profit or not based on the numbers that you inputted. Now, say for instance, one of the line items is always going to be your venue.
Mm.
So venue is going to be, for a lot of people, their greatest cost. And if you have to pay, say, $1,000 for a venue, just imagine what the ticket sales have to be able to get that money back, or what investment you have to put in yourself or your organization enable just to have the venue. So why not think about partnering with a venue who can be your sponsor? They sponsor your event with the venue. And so that's just one option, but there's so many other ones. I got to leave something for you to call me for coaching, but that's just one. Cash is not the only currency. What you need to take away from this is about relationships. So every day, every single day, the people who you meet, the places you go, the things you engage in are leading you toward having greater, I would say, social, what did they call it?
Social capital.
Capital. That's the
Yeah.
word, social
Mm.
capital. So if you know the owner of a certain restaurant or a certain venue because you've engaged with them in the past, and you've talked to them about what you got going on, and they say, "Oh, that's a wonderful thing." Guess what? You just open up the door for that organization or that venue to say, "I would like to sponsor you," long as you let them know what's in it for them. It's about win-win opportunities. So if you are going to have that venue to sponsor you, you need to consider what are you willing to give them back. And it doesn't mean that you owe anybody anything. The only thing is you want to present whatever your idea is in a way that seems appealing, and it actually targets what that other person is looking for. Any venue wants more customers. So if you say, in exchange for you sponsoring my event, what I would like to do is introduce your business to my 2,000 contacts on social media. By the way, I have a email database of another 5,000 contacts. I will also send this out and recognize you as a sponsor with that group of individuals as well. Besides that, I'm going to mention you during the event as our sponsor. And then finally, after the event, I'm going to send out a follow up email to all of my contacts with photos and videos and everything acknowledging you as our sponsor. So you have to put together something that is valuable. And so what that's doing for that venue is kind of taking their $2,000 budget of marketing, and they're basically giving it to you. So that's
Yeah.
what your exchange was. They had to market some way anyway, but it has to be something valuable, something that's beneficial and valuable to that other party, and everybody should win. Win win.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I really like the way you laid that out because it's very clear, and I'm sure most people don't think that way, but you actually made it. I can't help but think of your word, that dyadic tie, which didn't apply to this.
It kind of does.
But yeah, but the thing of, what is the value for the value given, and so to be able to articulate it that clearly resonates with the person receiving the message.
Right.
So that is awesome. Now, and I think that this would probably be a good segue to the next number 4 of the 5, which is, you say, the collaboration part, which is mind your social collateral.
Yes.
And so let's touch on that, and then we'll take some questions if there are any.
Yes, yes. So when we're talking about collaboration, as I was planning this particular event, when the vision came to mind, generally it kind of comes to me almost all at once because I asked the universe, well, how do I do this? Who do I need? Who am I supposed to call? I ask those questions and I generally get an answer. And so I asked about who I needed to work with. And for my business, I am a for-profit business. So what I recognized is that I needed a nonprofit partner to collaborate with. Why? Because generally, when people think about veterans, anything, they are thinking about nonprofit type of work, somebody giving something, or they're not really thinking for profit. So I needed to find a nonprofit partner and it through that partner's 501c3 because they requested it as a sponsor of my event, which means I did not have to pay for lunch for each of my guests. So that's just
Wow.
one example, but there's so many others. You might want to collaborate with a product manufacturer, as a Whole Foods marketing and community engagement specialist. I would have to go out to our various customers who had products out there on the shelf and reach out to them and say, hey, we have our grand opening coming up, or we have an open house coming up. How about sending us 100 pounds of organic chicken breast so that we can put on the grill? And then they would say, hey, we can have those organic chicken breasts to you on this date. What, do you need them delivered in the morning or whatever time? Those type of things. And so you just want to engage with people who have some interest. These are all individuals who want to see the success of your event and they are going to benefit from it as well. So that's an example of collaboration. But I also want to include donations. One of the tools I'm using is GoFundMe. Some people say, oh, you use GoFundMe when you need to pay for a funeral and you don't have no money. I hear all kinds of crazy stuff about GoFundMe.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, I have used GoFundMe multiple times. And so, what I'm using it for in my upcoming event is for sponsorships. I would like to sponsor 5 families, and so they don't have to pay to come to the event. Well, how do I get the money to sponsor those 5 families, which is $250 times 5? I don't want to, well, I do want to. I do want to give them the money to come. I do. But I also want to reach out to my partners because I have individuals who have followed me for years and they love supporting my events because they know the outcome, they know the benefits, and they know I do such a great job. So what I do is engage them in the process of putting this event on. And maybe they don't want to sponsor it on a large level, but they do want to contribute $20 toward the scholarship for the veterans. And so I had one very dear friend who her and her husband contributed $250 to sponsor a whole family
Awesome.
using this system. Then other people, oh, I'm gonna send you $20 or I'm gonna send you $50. Next thing I know, I have 2 people who are coming that are in their 90s.
Wow.
And it was so amazing when their family member called me and said, well, I'm buying 4 tickets, for our family of 4, but we still have our elders who we want to be able to enjoy this as well. So do you think you have a scholarship for them? Of course I do. Those 90-year-old people, our family members, our elders, they deserve to be able to come out and hang out in nature at Callaway Gardens too. So, hey, yes, I have a
That
scholarship for them.
That is awesome. Well, Sandra, we only have about 9 minutes, and I do want to get to the 5th one. So let's go ahead and hit number 5, and then see if we got any questions, and then we'll make sure we hit another highlight before we
Okay.
have to wrap up.
Let me just go ahead and give you be newsworthy. And this is important, you guys. The news doesn't cover your sales pitches. They don't cover you saying, I want to sell a ticket for $250. So can you put it on the news? That's not newsworthy. But it is newsworthy to say, I want to celebrate veterans who are still with us and doing great work in their community. And I'm going to be acknowledging and giving an award to X number of veterans. That's newsworthy. It's also newsworthy to be receiving a proclamation from the mayor and the city council. That's something that is newsworthy. So you can say that, a member of the city council will be reading a proclamation that is going to be given to us for our continued work in the community and serving veterans. Newsworthy. So you have to choose something that is worthy of the news and worthy of even your community to share your information. People are not so eager to just help you sell something, but they are eager to help you really make a difference in the lives of other people. So I'm keeping that short so that we can get back to other questions.
All right. Well, that was a very important point, and I like the way you described that. So, Maestro, questions or shout outs, and let's acknowledge those.
Yeah, so Martha J. McPhee just came and said, thanks for that. I'm always amazed at folk who reach out to my organization for sponsorships, and when I ask them what value will we receive, they look at me like I'm crazy. Okay. And then Alfreda Gibson is joining us saying good morning, and that's it for right now. So yeah.
Well, Martha, make sure to share this video with these folks the next time they get in contact. Maybe they should do a better job in finding the value proposition is win-win. All right. Well, Versandra, I know you have a really special event. You've alluded to your incredible work with veterans coming up. So please share that and where it's going to be. And then we'll recap. And obviously, I hate to go, but we're going to have to wrap it up.
Thank you. September 18th is the date of the first annual Veterans Family Retreat. This is going down from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Callaway Gardens. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from here in Columbus, Georgia, and it's only about an hour away from Atlanta. And we are expecting to impact 100 families at the end of this particular event. And so we're doing everything from we're giving demonstrations of holistic living in nature. And so what does that look like? It looks like a partnership with Breathe Holistic Health and Wellness Spa, who will be coming out and doing massages. It's a partnership with Art of Yoga Studio, who will be teaching yoga classes and partner yoga classes. My organization will be providing these amazing classes called the Art of Touch Experience, where you will learn about increasing or enhancing your ability to touch with love your partner, your family member, in order to enhance intimacy and nonverbal communication, which we need so greatly in our world today. But this is a collaboration of various individuals coming together and presenting these classes, workshops, and trainings in nature, beachside. We're going to be in bikinis and all kinds of cool stuff. We're going to be chilling out. Even the classes are chairs, our lounge chairs, where you're laying in the water, in the beach, while your partner is massaging you and stuff. And, I got to go back to how is this social distancing? Well, you and your family are doing this together. You want to be 6 feet away from everybody else, but you and your family see each other every day, so you can touch them. It's right, okay. Exactly.
Plus, you're outdoors too.
Right. It only goes for people who you haven't been around, So.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
this event, I've been working on it for an entire year. And when I reached out to Georgia Vet Fest and they agreed to assist, they're bringing their team to be our hospitality committee. They'll be taking care of registration, making sure you get to the right classes. And we've got these great swag bags that we will be providing you that you can use some of the things while you're there and others afterwards. But just really getting the word out there that optimal living, education, and retreats is serving veterans on a big way. We don't just provide our YouTube channel with resources and interviews from amazing holistic health professionals, but
Right.
we also do online retreats and live retreats. And Callaway Gardens is going to be hopping with veterans and some active duty because at our event that we did on Fort Benning about 2 weeks ago, Life is Better on Benning, we were able to really reach out to those individuals who are active duty now, and they are excited about the Veterans Family Retreat coming up on September 18th.
Now, how does someone register?
To register, everybody's probably heard of Eventbrite by now. So you can go to vets, VETS, retreat.eventbrite.com, vets, retreat.eventbrite.com, get your tickets there. Or you can go to our website, theoptimalplan.com. Again, that's THE optimalplan.com. That's our website, and you can also get tickets there.
Wow,
You
that
know,
is
I'll put it in a link just below this video.
yes.
Right.
Okay, great job. And on that note, before we wrap up, I do want to encourage everybody, please go to Facebook, the Private Money Syndicate page on Facebook, like, follow, and share. And as Versandra said at the beginning, to restate, please go to our YouTube channel, Private Money Godfather channel. Put in Private Money Godfather channel in your YouTube search and subscribe, because this video will be housed there along with all the other episodes. And we got an awesome one coming up next week, so you don't want to miss any of these. And if you watch them later, that's fine. But we really always say, if you want something to get done, give it to a busy woman. You just are incredible, and you do so much for us here at the Private Money Syndicate. And I couldn't be happy at
Bright.com.
Eventbrite. All right, bestretreat.eventbrite.com. It'll be posted. And so thanks so much, Versandra. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. And as I say every week, if you're going to go in business and stay in business, you got to mind your business. And with that, Maestro, I'm going to let you take us on home.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Versandra, as always, for your powerful and beautiful energy. Really appreciate you.